So I promised to tell you something about how you haul up the halyards on a fore and aft rig vessel, a schooner, for example. And I've crewed on a couple of schooners, Schooner Pioneer in New York Harbor. She's a lot like the scow schooner Alma in San Francisco, except with her edges sort of rounded off, not quite as boxy. And on the schooner Letty Howard, which is more of an ocean-going kind of schooner as well. So schooners have got, instead of having sails hanging from yards that cross the mast, they've got a gaff and a boom. The sail that sort of comes out from the sail in an aftwards direction, anchored at the bottom by a boom, and usually suspended at the top from another spar called a gaff. And when you're raising sail on a schooner, in the old days where they'd have a crew of just 3 or 4, what you do with each gaff is you'd have both a peak halyard, which is the outboard end, and a throat halyard, which is the which hauls up the inboard end. And if you've got a really big crew, you can put 3 or 4 sailors on both of those halyards at the same time and raise the whole thing together. And on Pioneer in June, when we have tons of volunteers who say, "Hey, I want to sail on a schooner," that's exactly what we do. By August, when most of the volunteers have found something else, go, "This is a lot like work." They find other things to do. You know, they could be ushering at the Metropolitan Opera or something like that, where the quality of the music is better. They don't have to listen to me, or something like that. Then we haul up the gaff the way the old time sailors did, with a crew of only 2 or 3. They said some schooners are crewed by a man, a boy, and a dog, But what we would do, we sailed Pioneer towards the end of the sailing season when there weren't many volunteers available anymore, where you'll haul up the peak halyard a little bit, and then you'll haul up the throat halyard. Then you belay that, go over to the other side, haul on the peak some more, belay that. Let me see, Pioneer. No, peak is starboard. Haul on the peak halyard on the starboard side, belay that, come over to the port side, haul up the throat, and you work that way up. When you're done with the main, then you raise the fore. Same thing, second verse, just like the first. Haul up the peak, belay, haul up the throat, belay, haul up the peak again until you have all that set. And then when you want to really tighten that up, you use a special kind of a sing out. But that's another thing. But anyway, while you're doing this hauling, in the case of a schooner, you've also got to purchase, but the fall runs vertically down to the mast. So whereas with a square sail, you're hauling laterally while standing on the deck. What you're doing on a schooner is you're hauling hand over hand, and there's actually some really almost more shouts than songs. And it's usually somebody who's experienced on the line will sing out like this. But what you can sing with me once you pick up the words. It just repeats over and over again. But hauling in time with this: hand, hand, hand over hand. Devil run away with a Liverpool man. Hand, hand, hand over hand. Devil run away with a Liverpool man. Hand, hand, hand over hand. And then the mate stops and says, belay that one. Okay, well, belay the peak. Then we go over to the other side and go to the throat. Same thing. Hand, hand, hand over hand. Devil run away with a Liverpool man. And we finally got both of them pretty much all the way. Then we tighten it up with what's called a sing out. And what you do is you sweat up the line, as we call it in English. One man leans back on the line. It helps if he's heavy like me. Put some weight on it, while another sailor brings the slack that he creates around the belaying pin, like that. And so all of these have got a sing out for sweating up. Has got 2 parts: the part where you sway on the line, and then the second part where he brings the slack down to the pin while the other person brings that back. This may sound not very musical, but this is how one of those goes. Whoa, Mary, come down with your bunch of roses. Oh, come when I call. Oh, Mary, come down. Oh, Mary, come down with your bunch of roses. And that's usually enough. And then it'll say, that's enough. You know, we don't want to tear the sail. Don't want to break anything. That's fine. Anyhow, these are useful. A lot of people you'll find who study shanties know lots of the square rig deep water shanties, but don't know as many of these hand over hand chants and sweating up chants. So they're not as musical. They're not entertaining. You wouldn't want to listen to one for a long time. But they're very much a part of the working lore of the sea.